Live from Springfield, it's the Artful Stalker Show, starring that prophet of the art world, Springfield Johnny, with his sidekick, Shiva the Destroyer. I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Crazy punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do. And there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides, 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We all know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy. So we don't go out anymore. We sit in our house. Slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller. And we all say is, please, please, leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and inflation and the Russians and the crime in the streets. All I know is that first you gotta get mad. You gotta say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window. Open it and stick your head out and yell, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. So, there we are. Famous scene from the movie Network, which is probably the most prophetic movie ever made. It's like Groundhog Day for anybody who understands the American culture. Because once this movie was made, it's just reel to reel. Everything keeps repeating itself, over and over again till it becomes true. There's Rena up there, mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. She's ripping up my letters. She's living in a little trailer with a little toaster. She's got her little radios on her tire of her silver truck, that she, drives to work as a janitor, where she, recites poems all day. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, And all of a sudden the poems, start pouring out of her mouth, she's vacuuming, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. She's got nobody to take her wrath out on. So, she Googles me or somebody tells her, hey, you're on the internet, you're a famous muse. She goes, what? famous muse. You know, I don't know, oh boy, I gotta, you know, lure him in. I got one here. You know, boy, someone's gonna hear my wrath once I get him over here in Montana on the hill, you know. So she, you know, she let me have it. You know, I'll destroy him. You know, I'll destroy his letter and his tape, The Birth of Venus, into the flames. Oh, Lord Shiva, Goddess Destroyer, help me. Yeah. So, you know, here she is, you know, Shiva, you know, Destroyer. That's what I'm up against, you know, at the end of my life, you know, Mother Kali. You know, this once beautiful maiden has turned into, you know, Shiva the Destroyer, Mother Kali, eat your children, you know, and cut me off, that's it. You know, if I'm his point or source of inspiration, I'm cutting him off. You know, you can't make a movie better than this, you know. You know, this is the whole network thing. You know, where Holden tells, what's her name? You know, yeah, you are Shiva the Destroyer. You know, you just consume everything, you know. Yeah, and that's the Serena type, you know, the woman goddess who appeared, yeah, right around 1970, just when Serena showed up. That was the beginning of the women's movement, see. You know, women are going to assert who they are. You know, they're not going to get stuck up in a tent on top of a mountain with some mad prophet. You know, as young and beautiful as I was. You know, you're not going to do that. You know, she wants to do her own thing, whatever that is. You know, you see, we don't know. See, and this is what we're going to challenge today. What these rebellious Rosamond women, you know, are doing today. Where are they? You know, what was their motive? What did they want? See, so we go back to my friend Bob. Pretty much he built the sound system for the Grateful Dead. He flipped out twice. Once on Mirror Beach with his friend Stanley Gustus Owsley, and then at the Fillmore. They put on an acid test there, and each time he took off all his clothes and was running around. You know, this guy's got a IQ 200, and you know, when he takes LSD that he makes, you know, and helps make, you know, his first thing is, hey, I want to take off all my clothes, you know, naked, you know. Big brain, see. So, what I think we're going to set up, I got to make this picture, because when you get into this destroy, create, destroy, create, you know, when you get into this duality, and it's a very dumb duality, and you know, it really tears your heart, right? You know, and two, this is the whole symbol of Jesus, is the unifying heart, you know, of compassion and mercy and understanding that God is love. See, and that's what we're working on, but we got divided. So rather than give Shiva Easton, the power she wants, you know, to keep destroying this artistic legacy, you know, Rosebud. See, that's what she wants. See? She wants to take the rose and, you know. Why? God, Shiva, nobody knows that she's compelled to do this, you know. As were all the other Rosemont women, even Christine. See, because she wasn't the progenitor of this. She only, you know, because her brother was, you know, her idol, you know, she assimilated this through an osmosis, you know, as my mother said. Oh, it was this transference of my talent to Christine was through some kind of osmosis. Oh, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So to keep out of this dumb duality, we're going to create the RW bench. You know, like Alice's restaurant, you know, the group W bench with the murderers and the rapists and the father rapists, you know. It'll be like a pretty plain old wooden locker bench. And there will sit the surviving Rosamond women, plus Rena. There'll be Heather and Drew and Shannon and Vicky and Rena Easton. See, where's that, 4? 4 there? And they'll be on that bench, you know. Whatever is going through, whatever kind of psychodrama is going through their brain, you know, none of my business, because over here is me sitting in that wonderful burgundy, ornate, Gothic chair, you know, that I sat in, you know, after I died. It came back, you know. And that'll be, you know, my regal self, you know. You know, I might be wearing a crown or something. And, you know, I have a palette, you know, in hand, you know, like my, you know, and a big brush, you know, like a scepter, you know, my shield and scepter, you know. And there I will be, the person that's still trying to create and write, who's doing this wonderful, beautiful history, tying us in with Fair Rosamond, the Paraphilites, the poets Swinburne, who wrote Rosamond. So this is beautiful, beautiful thing that the Paraphilites were doing with Rosamond. And I wasn't quite aware of it when I discovered the Paraphilites. That name was so key, because several of the Paraphilite artists did paint Fair Rosamond. You know, in her bower, this labyrinth, you know, and she was the mistress of King Henry II. So anyway, I'm going to sit down and tell that because it's important to establish. What I'm going to establish here for history and why this needs to be said and taped and written about is that the whole Rosamond artistic legacy, the labyrinth and everything else, it came out of the hippie movement. See, and it wasn't just a sideline thing. It wasn't just a you know, the freak show. You know, it was funded by Bob, who basically started, you know, and funded the whole LSD Brotherhood of Eternal Love thing. And so this is historic. See, because that's never going to be duplicated. That's never going to come around again. So it's got to, you know, it's got to be set in history. And this is why this is so good. You may not think so. I don't give a fuck, because you're probably stupid, you know. But I recognize real history, real art history, you know, when I see it, as I've studied it since I was, you know, 12 years old. So I can't look at the opinions of the RW bench, you know, the women on the RW bench, because one, you know, they're stupid as a box of hammers. They don't know anything about art. You know, they don't know anything about spirituality. They don't know anything about the hippie movement. They really don't know me, and they really don't want to know me, because I scare them. See, you know, the mad prophet of the art ways, you know, scares them. You know, they want to work on their, you know, they're wounded women. This is the wounded woman bench. You know, you just got to leave them alone. You can't, you know, challenge them. Come on, you're up. Get up here in front of the camera, you know, tell your story. Let's hear your version of the Rosamond legacy happen. You know, that's, you know, Sheriff Dan, help me! He's brutalizing me. You know, come, you know, he's stalking me. You know, okay, I'm sorry. Just sit down back on the bench. See, that's how I got to treat it. You know, and seriously, I'm going to write, you know, Dr. Phil, and see if we can't create this whole thing on, you know, on his show. You know, there'll be the, you know, the RW bench over here. There'll be my burgundy high back king's chair over here. You know, oh, you know, and there'll be Bill back there mixing everybody drinks. You know, at his bar that he owns with seashells and shit around. You know, you know, if you're writing some fiction here, you can't write any better fiction than the reality that's being written. So anyway, this is real history, and it's really important now because the addiction to meth and heroin is epidemic. It's growing on a very large scale. And I am the living example of someone who died on a powerful dose of LSD, came back to life, and left that movement. I was a trailblazer. Left that movement, turned my back on it, my peers, all the people I took drugs, and went out on my own and started painting and creating. And it was the painting that I did of Rena that my sister saw that really established probably the first artistic legacy born of the LSD Brotherhood Eternal Love movement. See, there was music that came out of this, and but no art. See, that was the one thing that I noticed, is that there was no art except on the back of albums. Artists were doing album covers, but there was no, you know, Peter Max, I think, was one, you know, who exploited the whole hippie, you know, Lucy in the Sky, diamonds. See, and then there's another one, Dennis Dent, my friend, who I'm going to talk about. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you the monster. You know, the monster, the id, you know, Dorian Gray, you know, he stays young, you know, while the painting grows old and decrepit. So let's unveil the monster right now. Drum roll. I was dreaming about that. I was playing the drums. So this is the monster that's intimidated the hell out of me since I was a young boy. Ta-da! Behold, the monster. There it is. See, every painting that ever was and will ever be is in this white. See, white is the combination of all the colors. And when an artist steps before an empty canvas, he realizes there's nothing there. It's all up here. It's all up here. Total responsibility, you know, owning your own creation. You literally own your own creation when you stand before an empty canvas. You know, and you go, oh my gosh, you know, what's in me? Oh, this is too much. I can't. Where do you begin? You know, you got the brush. You know. See, once you do that, once you make that first stroke, then you're really in trouble. You know, there's no turning back. You know, you can't rub it out. You know, it's got you now. You know, you go, oh my God, I could fail. You know, I'm a miserable human being. I don't deserve to be before this empty canvas and making that stroke. I gotta make another one. Okay. Now we got something. See, that's your duality. See, for what, you know, the yin and the yang. Okay. Now I think I'm under control. You know, there's that word control. See, you know. All right, I can do that. You know, and you go back. You know, and you start, and all of a sudden you start calming down. And you know, if you're an artist that's trying to capture beauty, you know, then you start saying, okay, there's beauty in me. You know, yes, okay, where's the proof of that? Okay, watch this. You know, wow, that's beautiful. See, that's the real muse. In you. She lives in you. She's a part of you. And She's this empty canvas. She's the one that challenges you, like you've never been challenged. You know? And this is what Rena is. She always will be. She's the great challenge, you know, because she's Shiva. She's the great destroyer. Because the Indian sages and mystics understood the great duality of enlightenment. You know, that you had to have these flames of destruction that are tearing down, destroying everything that man makes. And it's with the tearing down of the ego, you know, that the enlightened one, the avatar, appears. And the God man is transcendent. He's leading the movement back into the rebirth after the destruction of Shiva. So they're in cahoots. They're working together, you know, the yin and yang, you know. See, I'm a Libra, and Rena's an Aries. And according to my astrologer, that's the relationship I like, because, see, we're always 180 degrees apart in the circle. So I make a move and she makes a move, you know. I go this way and she goes that way, you know. And then there's this line of connection, see. And that's the horizon line. You know, there's the vanishing point. See, what I'm going to do is recreate the lost painting of Rena, the one that Christine saw a photograph of and took apart, and became one of the most highest paid artists in the history of art. There's more Rosamond prints of beautiful women than any other artist that was making prints at the time. You know, but you've got to, you know, start with that horizon line, even when you're doing her kind of work, you know, with the woman with the empty spaces, the famous empty spaces. Okay, well, over here is a painting I did for the Fox Hollow Senior Center. Used to go there once a month for family night, and that's where I met Joy, who's descended from Humpaka Sioux chiefs, and I haven't called her yet. So the person head of the activities wanted me to come and do a painting before the group there, and to music. She wanted me to paint to music. So I chose Graffet's Grand Canyon Suite, came in there with an empty canvas, set it up. There's about 30 senior centers in the rec room. Had an hour and a half to do this. And I finished this in an hour and 20 minutes. And, you know, and I put a point here with a compass with felt pins that I tied to a string, you know, with a loop, and I started making the rainbow. And voila. An hour and 20 minutes. You know, I'm a very fast worker when I paint, so we're going to actually film me painting. And this is what Denny Dent did on stage in rock concerts. He did big paintings of rock stars while they were up on stage painting. Genius to come up with that. And I'll put his blog, his video of his work. And okay, well, I want you to stay mad as hell out there, you artists, you know, and just ignore the RW bent. Just ignore them. Just let them be. Let them go through their psychosis, neurosis, and all that stuff. That doesn't have anything to do with art, except in Rita's case, because, you know, when she takes on her true form, you know, as Shiva the Destroyer, you know, because that's how it goes. That's the yin and yang of it. Okay. Hey, you know what? We got a big snow the other day, and now we got ice storms bringing all the trees down out there. All right. Do you know where your Shiva the Destroyer is? Take care. Have a good one. See you in a bit.